let's talk the tea. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Oh, let's totally get into
We're going to
it.
be talking about it.
Alex Cooper, welcome to Sorry We're Cyrus.
I love you so much.
Oh my God.
No, the new name is everything.
It's good, right?
It's so good. It's so you guys. Like, put your name on that shit.
That's what I'm saying. We're like trying to brainstorm new names because we didn't want to stray so far from the brand, right? Because we loved it and like the stoners love it. We're still going to call them stoners, I think. But we said Sorry We're Cyrus. And at first we were like, are people going to think that like we're truly like apologizing for being a Cyrus? Because that's not it.
No, you love me. I want to be a Cyrus.
Oh, like, we
Yeah.
love being a Cyrus. It was just like, and it's like, no, we're unapologetically Cyrus,
Yes.
who we are.
Love.
Yeah.
No, it's so annoying with show names because you think people are going to read too much into it when really like no one's thinking about it as much as the two of you are.
That's
so
true.
I read it and I was like, I love it. And also everyone knows what the original name was, but I think it's fun. And I also think it gives you flexibility. Look at me being like brand marketing over here. I'm like,
No, I love it.
I think it's good because you don't want every person to come and sit down and be like, do I have to smoke? Like,
Right.
if you want to smoke, smoke. If you don't want to smoke, you don't have to smoke.
It was a
But
problem.
you're-
Guests were like, I smoke, but nobody knows, and I don't want anyone. Like,
Right.
you know, people like
Yes.
couldn't come on because they didn't want to ruin their brand. So
now we're here
Here we are.
and we're not stoned right now. We are
not.
sober.
You're so sober.
No,
How pumped are you that you don't have to get high at 12 o'clock in the afternoon?
you know what? I was thinking about it because I was actually pretty high last night. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, no, stop. But I didn't want to keep it going because I have so many meetings today. But I also am so obsessed with you both that I was like, I will do this
You're like,
for
I'm
the two
in.
of you and only for the two of you. But now that you guys aren't, I'm like,
Aw.
I'm staying
You're
sober.
like,
We're clear.
That's
Yeah.
too good. I love it. Well, we're so happy you're here. We're excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm
You're
so
our
happy.
first guest back since the rebrand.
I'm
Yeah.
honored. You guys, I'm honored.
Oh my God.
I'm just happy to be like here and hanging out with you guys because I feel like when we did my podcast, we had so much fun and people thought that we had all hung out before because all the comments were like, wait, have you guys known each other before? Like that was our first time hanging out and it felt like we were just kicking back like we were friends.
It was so much
It
fun.
was so much
Yeah.
fun.
And the world exploded after.
well,
You guys.
You have no idea. To this day, every time I play in Vegas, they're like, I loved you on Caller Daddy.
Stop.
And I'm like, wow, it's still kicking.
To be fair, like I sit down with a lot of people. That was one of, if not one of like, truly of all the years I've done this, one of my favorite episodes because you guys were so funny and fun to hang out with. And it doesn't feel like an interview. We can just be
At
like
all.
talking the shit and hanging
Yeah.
out.
It's the best.
It's the
I
best.
cannot wait for you to get here.
I know. I was like, no, that's what I was saying to you guys. I walked in here and everyone listening, I was like, okay, sometimes I get nervous to do podcasts because I don't know the angle and I don't know what's the vibe. And I immediately, it was like racing over here just to like hang out. I'm like, let's talk the tea. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Oh, let's totally get into
We're going to
it.
be talking about it.
Oh God. Okay. What are we talking
you
about
ready?
today?
Actually,
I don't know.
Brandy's going to be talking about it.
You are too. Stop it. She's like, now that I'm not smoking, she's like in her head.
I'm like,
she's like,
But
Just
you're doing
talk.
great. You look gorgeous. You're
Thank you.
thriving.
Thank
well,
you.
listen, we're going to start off by talking about relationships because it's her favorite thing to talk about. And
It
I just
is.
really feel like that's going to get her going
Okay.
today.
Okay.
So, you got married.
I got married.
Are you
guys.
freaking out or like, no?
I was so not freaking out. And I think I was actually laughing because my friend is getting married soon. And I feel like there's two different brides. Either you are like in every detail and you are like very focused on the wedding, which is gorgeous, amazing. Love that for the girls. And then there are the other people that are like working to the last minute. And I'm like finishing a Zoom meeting and everyone's like, you need to get on the plane to go to your wedding, Alex. That was me. But I think it worked for me because it made me not overthink the
Yeah.
concept of the wedding and all of it. So I just like landed and was like, get me a tequila shot.
Let's
Here we go. Let's
party.
Yeah, I had the best time. It was truly amazing, you
I mean,
guys.
it was beautiful.
Thank
it
you.
was
Those are
so
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was, I had never dreamt of a wedding. And so when it all came together, I was like, well, if I could have dreamt it, this is my dream. Like it was probably the best weekend of my life. And prior to that, I had been like, don't think of your wedding as like the most important day of your life, like low stakes. Cause I think we all put so much pressure when you're thinking of your wedding. Like
Mhm.
it has to be perfect. This must go well. Oh my God, there was so much random little drama, but none of it fazed me because I was
Good.
just so in the moment with Matt and it was perfect. And I wish I could relive it. And it was so fun
Aw.
because it was this small group of people. And I remember we're leaving and Matt's mom is like, having a drink at the airport. She's like, can we do this again next year, same time? I'm like, yeah, if it felt like a big like family vacation. It
That's
was
so
amazing. It was
cool.
amazing.
Oh, and I
that.
love the pre-wedding shoot.
Oh,
Hottie.
guys.
Was that
to.
so fun?
No, it was so fun because I had no idea for my outfits. And then all of a sudden I banked like 7 freaking outfits. And I'm like, who am I? I went from being like, I don't know what I want my wedding dress to be. All of a sudden I have like 17 outfits lined up over the course of 2 months. But I'm that kind of person where I'm like, if I'm going to go for something, I'm going to do it big. And it was, oh my God, the outfits. I had so much fun. You guys, like picking the dress and picking the rehearsal dinner and the pre-shoots. Like I was just having fun with it, honestly. And that's what I encouraged everyone to do when I was talking about. I'm like, don't overthink it. And I know there's so much that can come with a wedding and overthinking things, but like,
I was like that too.
right?
Yes. Even I remember I decided I did not like my wedding dress like 3 weeks before,
And
maybe
then
2.
Also, the flower ordeal. The morning
the
of was a
flower
whole
ordeal.
thing.
But I
The
just rolled with
flowers.
it, and like I was just like chilling.
Right? Because what is the point of stressing? And that's what I knew with Matt. Is like at one point I remember I had been like, should we just elope? Should we just elope? And he's like, no, Alex, absolutely not. But the concept of eloping to me was more about like, it's just us. That's all I care about. And so I think when I went into the wedding process, I tried to hold that as like the core value of like, all I care about is that we have a good time together and let the rest go. Also, I feel like that what I do for my job always is like try to think in the other people's perspective. I'm like, when you go to a wedding, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit if the food sucks or whatever. As long
all
as
they
there's
care about is alcohol, liquor,
right?
Liquor specifically.
Yes. And who they're sitting next to.
Yeah.
Good music. Good music.
Yeah.
Yes. And just a vibe.
Yes.
And so I think like when it's yours, you're more freaked out that it's not going to be perfect, but no one gives a shit.
No.
You're the only one that really cares that much.
So true.
So as long as you're happy.
Exactly.
So that's
How involved was Matt in like all the wedding planning?
Oh my God, he was the team captain.
Was he really?
And I was the bench rider.
No.
You guys, he is half of like why I fell in love with him in the beginning was just he's so organized. He's so passionate about creating visions and worlds. Like because he makes movies for a living, he's a producer. So like getting together a situation and putting together an event is the easiest thing for him. It's like second nature to the point where I had to be like, when we land in Mexico, we need to bring someone on that plane with us that can handle everything. And it's not the wedding planners, because I know it's like wedding planners are one thing. No, we need like an assistant that the minute your blood is boiling because you see the napkin isn't the exact color that you picked out on the website, you're going to turn to them and have them handle it, because the minute we land, we're present. You guys, he did everything. And I did like some things, but he was very like, how involved do you want to be? And then you let me know. And he just like ran with it. And he would be like 1, 2, or 3. And I would be like 2. And then he'd be like 3. And I'm like, oh, 3. He has the best taste. He is a Aries. And I'm Leo. And I had never dated an Aries before. And it's like literally perfect. Like it couldn't be more perfect. He just balances me out. I'm insane. And he is like the most steady human being. I feel like we talked about this with Dom and you. Like when you are everywhere at once, you need that grounding force, right?
So bad.
I literally on like the Zoom that we met, my mom was downstairs in my new New York City apartment and I walked downstairs. I had no furniture and I was like, Mom, I think I literally just saw the man that I'm going to marry.
Wow.
And my mom was like, tell me his name. Let me Google him. And she's like doing all of her research. And we literally sat on these like cardboard boxes because I had no furniture. We ordered chicken parms and we're watching like videos of him doing interviews. And I'm like, no, I'm literally going to marry that man.
Wow.
And it started as a joke, but I kind of had this gut feeling of like, I have dated so many people in my life and I've tried all the things and I had never met a man like him. And I just knew like, this is what I need. And I've been like running from what I need for a while. And so I think in the beginning it felt right. But then actually when I knew he was what I wanted and long term I was like, we're never getting married. Just want to put that out there. We're never getting married, because I was always really just terrified that someone was going to not let me be independent and not support my career. And I'm a very independent person. And so when he agreed and he was like, okay, we don't have to get married. Like we can be life partners. Like I would like to get married, but I never want you to feel like I'm forcing you to do something. And then once he never brought it up again for like 6 months, then I sat him down and I was like, okay, we can do it. And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you can propose. And Matt was like, what? I'm like, I just
That
needed to
is
know
funny.
that you wouldn't make me do something that just because you wanted to do it and it felt right for you. And I needed you to meet me where I was, because he was more established and his career was thriving.
Yeah, I feel like that sounds good. That is so crazy. Okay, so you guys do work together.
Yeah.
So, all right, in work and in just life.
Yeah.
Does he let you wear the pants in the relationship?
Oh my
Or
God.
does he wear them and it just seems like you wear them?
Oh no.
Like he like
I wish he
convinces
was
you
here.
that it's you, but it's really him, or is it always you?
No, you guys need to come over and meet Matt. I wish he was here because his joke in the office is like, well, you know my answer, but like she has the final say.
Yeah.
And it's like always I have the final say. And he does a lot in the relationship. Like Matt literally keeps us afloat and moving. And he is literally the best partner I could ever ask for. But I wear the pants like
I love
every
that.
single
Amazing.
decision.
And he's
It's
good
like,
with it.
oh, he loves it.
Oh, I love that so
But
much.
he also grew up with like his mom is that in his family. And so he watched this strong woman leading the family.
Yeah.
And I think like his sister, he has an older sister. So like he's very used to women running the show. And he's amazing with women, which I love. And I think that was a huge point for me to be like, I need a man that truly not only respects me, but like if it push comes to shove, he's going to almost trust me in moments
Yes.
and rely on my voice sometimes more than his own. And I need that because it is a man's world and you need your guy to be like, yes, I respect you and I believe in
Yes.
you. And so Matt is like my number one fan and I love him.
That
Dom
is so
was
cute.
raised by his mom and his grandmother, and yet
Amazing.
his dad was out of the picture. So he too like was raised by these two very strong women.
And it affects them.
It
You can
totally
feel
does.
it.
Yeah.
Even before you ask a man, like I remember I used to go on dates with guys and I had this thing where I would always wonder, like, does he have a sister? And like, what
It's
is his
important to
right?
know. Yeah.
Because it's not a knock if you don't, but it is an added advantage. And
Yep,
I always say
totally.
that to my brother. I'm like, you're so lucky that you're squished in between two girls
Yeah.
because with dating, girls are like obsessed with him in that way because
Yep.
he's like very in tune with the female emotion,
Yep.
which is huge.
And it's like if you meet somebody that doesn't have sisters or whatever, it's just more of a learning curve, right? You're like, I just have more to teach
yes,
them.
like this is a tampon, sweetie.
Yeah, it's more of an uphill
This
battle.
is a tampon. Like, oh my God. No, yeah, I think people think that we're insane that we work together. And Matt and I always say to each other, we're like, oh my God, like I don't know how I'd be doing this without you.
I think it's amazing.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
That's cute.
My parents work together.
Oh, amazing.
And so that's all I ever knew.
Yeah.
And so I absolutely love it. Like Dom and I love being creative together. And I just think it's so much fun being able to do that with your partner.
It is. And like, I think specifically because we're in the creative industry, I previously had never dated in the creative industry. And so I always felt like I was on this island. And I know there are so many people that have jobs that their partner can't relate to, and that works a lot. For me, it just was like what I'm doing in moments is so polarizing and it's so out there and it's my whole life and I'm so passionate about it that it is a turn on when someone understands what I'm talking about. And I used to have guys, like I would be sitting working late at night and they'd be like, are you done yet? Like, are you done?
Oh, it's the worst.
It's
I've
the
been there
worst.
too.
And then meanwhile, Matt comes in and he's like, how much longer do you have? And I'm like, I'm going to be editing for like 4 more hours. He's like, okay, love you, babe. I'm going to go like take calls
so
in the
great.
kitchen and like, I'm going to heat your dinner up.
Oh,
It's,
guy.
it's lovely. So, and also I think working together, there's no one I trust more than Matt. And we aren't sitting next to each other every single day. Half the time, Matt and I don't see each other till 8 o'clock at night. He leaves, he kisses me, gives me my coffee, and he's out the door and he goes to the office early. And I am running part of our company and he's running another part of our company essentially. But we come together and make all the decisions at the end of the day together. So it's a nice balance. Like sometimes like, oh, I miss him. And I'll go into the office and I haven't seen him in hours. And I'm like, oh, he looks hot. Like, hi, how are you doing? And then I'm like, oh, wait, HR. But it's really fun. I feel really blessed.
Yeah.
Okay, hey guys. So yes, it's weird. I'm in a little RV right now on a lot in Hollywood, but wanted to talk to you guys about fungies, which are absolutely freaking incredible. It's actually the brand that's making mushrooms mainstream. They are so good. I am addicted to the lion's mane one. I actually just started them a couple months ago and they have made the biggest difference in my energy and my focus. Like I really never believed in stuff like that, but they actually have been making a huge difference. And not to mention they taste like a mini dessert, so I'm obsessed with them. Anyway, they are like a superfood mushroom and all the gummies are gelatin-free, vegan-friendly, and made with clean, natural ingredients. They're free from artificial dyes and junk that you don't want. So it makes it perfect for the whole family, and they're absolutely no psychedelics. They're completely great for your kids, for anybody in your family. And the Lion's Mane Mushroom Gummies is the #1 bestseller. They have been recognized for their potential for cognitive benefits, including helping to improve memory, boost focus, and even promote mental clarity. And there's absolutely no aftertaste at all. Like, I can't say enough about these. So anyway, if you're ready to give your brain a boost, you can find these yummy gummies in the vitamin section at your local Walmart for less than $10, a conveniently shop, or you can conveniently shop on their website, eatfungies.com, and enjoy 20% off with the code STONE. That is EATFUNGIES.com. Again, you get 20% off with the code STONED. And I promise you guys, you're going to love the way these things taste, and you're going to love what they do for your mental clarity. They're really amazing. And functional mushrooms are having a huge moment in wellness right now, and Fungies makes them accessible to everyone, whether you're a wellness pro or you're just curious to try something new. And I'll say give it a try because they're really awesome. Hey guys, so this next sponsor is so amazing. I heard about it from several of my friends and on social media, and it's called Peak. And I am obsessed with their Sun Goddess matcha. Dr. Amen always talks about L-theanine, which this has in it, and it gives me sustained energy. I don't get jitters. It doesn't make me feel anxious, but it gives me so much energy. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. And they have one called the BT Fountain, which contains hyaluronic acid and minerals that help your body absorb water more effectively, which keeps your skin and your body hydrated and plumbed. So it is just such a good product. I cannot say enough about it. For a limited time, you get 20% off of the Radiant Skin Duo. And I am obsessed with, and you get this for free, their frother is the best frother I've ever used. It is so good. So you get that. And then you also get their free glass beaker. You cannot go wrong with the Sun Goddess matcha. It is so delicious and has so many benefits. So you get 20% off. You get the free frother, the free beaker, and you just go to peaklife.com/stoned. Again, peaklife.com/stoned. Love it.
No relationship's perfect, right? Like, I think anybody in a healthy relationship knows, like, going into it, like, there's going to be things you compromise on. What's something that you feel like you guys have had to compromise?
So I remember in the beginning of our relationship, Matt is the most social person when it comes to, like, when you're in Hollywood in this business, it's all about, like, going to dinners, meeting people. Like, when I met Matt, almost every single day of the week, he had
out
a dinner.
Wow.
Or drinks. And he's talking to people at CAA, UTA, WME. Then he's going to meet with the studios. Then he's meeting with writers. And I'm like, oh my God, I like to be home and to not leave my house. And as a podcaster, I think people see interviews, but, like, I literally sometimes go from my house to my studio in New York City. I didn't even leave my apartment sometimes. Like, I would just upload and that's you. I can, that's Tish. That's why we're similar. And so I remember in the beginning days, I was like, I am social, but I am more naturally an introvert, which I think is weird for me to say because I talk for a living. But
no, but I'm very similar.
Right.
Like, I don't think anybody that watches me DJ would think I'm an introvert, but I am.
Yes.
You know?
And so I have to be alone. I have to recharge.
Me too.
And so we had a lot of struggles in the beginning where he couldn't figure out, like, are you not integrating into my friend group because you don't like them? And I was like, I'm exhausted. I've had 4 interviews this week. I've been writing, I've been producing, I've been editing. Like, I literally need to sit and watch like 19 hours of a television show and brain rot. And I need you to understand that it's not that I don't love your friends. I just don't want to go to dinner and have small talk because I've been small talking all fucking week.
Exactly.
And he finally now, like, he so gets it. Like, we were laughing the other week. I had him on a Saturday, Matt Kaplan in bed from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We only got up to like get snacks. And he was like, God, I love you so much because no other woman could have ever gotten me to do this in my life, but I love you. And he loves spending time with me. But we found our balance. But there's been a lot of moments socially where we had to figure out, like, ooh, I need to recharge when I'm alone. He recharges by being around people. Oh my God, I remember when we moved in, his mom would always just like show up like classic Jewish mother, like, I've got cookies. And
Oh
I'm like,
my
I don't want your
God.
fucking cookies, Lisa. I love you. She knows this. We like joke about it now to this day, but she would show up.
Yeah.
And I would
Oh,
be like,
yeah. That would be-
Matt, why is your mom
Why
in
is
the
your mom
kitchen?
here?
And like, I'm naked in my bed trying to finish my 17th episode of grade anatomy. Like, leave me alone. And he'd be like, no, she's just stopping by for 5 minutes, but 5 minutes turns into 30. And then
Oh, sure.
so, and that was also because it was beginning days of like really getting close to her. Now I love her and I can look at her and be like, Lisa, I'm
Leave.
going upstairs. Leave me alone. Like, I need alone time.
Exactly.
But in the beginning of relationships, you can't say that to your in-laws
No.
right away. And so there were boundaries that we had to work on socially, essentially.
I like talking about that because I feel like people don't talk about it. It's like on fucking Instagram, all you see are these like perfect couples and everything's bliss and we're so in love. And it's like, well, no, like any healthy relationship, any marriage that stood the test of time, like people compromise and have to like bend a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's cool to talk about it.
Yeah.
No, and I think like even on that note, like that's not the only problem we have in our relationship. Like, of course, Matt and I go through moments where I'm like, you are pissing me off, or like the way that we're like we're not communicating and you're not hearing what I'm saying. Like, oh yes, of course. But I do think that we've found this really good balance of like we never try to solve an issue at nighttime when we're both like brain dead. We're not in a good place. We actually now know like sleep on it and wake up and you probably don't
See,
even,
that's
like, believe in the
interesting
problem.
because most men have this thing about not going to bed angry.
Oh, not Matt. Matt is like,
I've heard
I'll
this
see
so
you in the
many
morning,
times.
sweetie. You're insane.
See,
And
I
when
think that's better.
No,
I
literally.
do. I think it's better to sleep on
too.
it than like try to hash something out when you're tired and going to
Totally.
No,
bed.
you guys, but I, in the beginning of the relationship, was the one that was like, hello, are you asleep? And he's like, no, we can't keep, especially when drinking's involved. He's like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not seeing this right. And I'm like, I see everything
I
right.
see
And not
everything.
like, good night, Alex. And then I like fall asleep and I wake
No,
up.
I totally think it's better to sleep on
It
it.
is.
too.
It is. It
Me
is. Because
too.
emotions are heated. And like, I also think one of the problems we had in the beginning of our relationship was podcast. And it's, Matt has a very established career before I met him. And he is a very private person and he doesn't have Instagram and he doesn't have TikTok. And that's literally why I love him. But in the beginning days, I think it got to the point where Matt was like, if you're going to be like my wife, I'm so down. Literally talk about it all. But I'm trying to gauge, like, are you in this relationship long term? Because I'm not interested in my life being exploited if this is an end
I can
game.
see that.
Yeah.
And I completely, and I didn't want to like emasculate him, but also my life was the daddy gang understanding that I'm going to share everything. And they knew when I wasn't being open and honest about my dating life. And then I did pull back a little bit because we had to figure out our relationship.
Yeah.
And now once we decided like, oh, this is endgame, then I was like, okay, so Matt stuck his finger in my peep and then and he's like, Mom, don't listen to this one. But that's what was so cool is like he respected it and he
That's
gets it. He's
cool.
like, I know how you got to where you are today and like I trust you. So
That
was
is
huge.
amazing.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
It's Dom is so private too. And like this has been a lot for him
A lot.
of coming into the Cyrus folds of things. It's a lot. Yeah.
And I can imagine there's so many conversations that go into that. And I think that's what you don't see on social media is like whether you post someone or you don't, there's so
Yes.
much that goes into
So much.
the comfortability and the boundaries and the newness. And also like,
Totally.
why aren't you posting?
I
Like,
know.
We just talked about this yesterday. It's like, for me personally, like I'm hesitant to put something out there because in the past I have. And then, you know, once we broke up, it just all felt really invasive and
Yeah.
made getting over it harder because you were constantly asking about it. So now it's like, I don't know if I want to post it somebody, but then somebody's feelings get hurt because you're not
Is
posting
this
them.
tea?
And
no, I was on my way here. I'm like, okay, I have so many questions that I need to ask them. And one of my top questions was, last time I saw you, we were talking about who you were going to be dating and who do we set you up? What?
we're not going to talk about it on the podcast.
No. But there, I know as you're talking about, like,
But
I don't know if I want to post this
At
on
lunch after, we'll talk about it.
but it's not
I'm seeing somebody, but we're not
Brand?
advertising it.
I
okay, we're not
know.
advertising it, but we're talking about it on the podcast.
Yes.
No, okay, we'll talk about it after. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, but that's definitely been like something we talked about
hard.
kind of right away. Is like he was like I get the vibe that you like maybe don't want to like post each other at the. I'd never said that, but I think he just got the vibe.
Yeah.
And then I had to kind of be like, yes, but it's not because I don't want. It's not. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with like the past relationship and just like how much I regretted being so open about it. And But I'm like, but I don't, and I'm like, but I'm okay. Like, if you want to post me, and he was like, well, I'm not, like, if you don't want that, whatever. And it's like, I don't want you to be posting me, and then you be upset I'm not posting you. There's just so much that goes into
So
it,
annoying.
and
the
it's
social media
It's
landscape
hard to
insane.
navigate.
and literacy of like, I remember I hadn't posted my one friend who deleted social media because her mental health, she was like, I really believe this will be so positive. I delete social media. And she hasn't been on social media now for almost 4 years. And she's like, I have never been happier. But then I get comments from people being like, are you guys not friends anymore? And I'm like, she was at my house yesterday. And then I'm like, should I be posting her so people know that we haven't had a friendship rift? Meanwhile, she's my best friend in the entire world. It's annoying that people feel like once you have social media and you share a good amount, if you ever peel it back, then people question what's happening in your life.
Yeah.
But I've learned to just be like, okay, if people think like, oh, we're not friends anymore, or oh, we didn't take a picture at the event together and post an Instagram, so that means we're beefing. Like, no, we just were actually like present together at the event.
Right.
I have truly really stayed off social
have.
media for
Good
like
for
4
you.
months.
I know.
Yeah, I
'Cause
just
it's so anxiety and
it's totally anxiety inducing, and for all of those reasons, I'm just like it's just too much.
I recommend that to anyone, but
Yes.
unfortunately, I literally can't.
I know it's no, it's well, it's and
Well,
it's
that's the
just
hard part.
and it's a whole thing for you, a whole part of your business.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really haven't been on at all.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I feel like a good question for you is because you are so public about everything and so out there, like is there anything you do for you to kind of stay grounded and to kind of like keep yourself from going insane when people come at you and say everything like that?
Yeah. One thing that Matt and I really connected over when we met is we're such big family people. And a lot of our upbringing, we come from similar values and we came from similar households, and we really connected over what we want in life. And so almost every single weekend, one of our sides of the family is over at our house. Like when we bought this house, a huge point of it was we wanted to entertain, but not entertain for like these like surface level parties, really entertain
Right.
and have our family over.
Yeah.
And so I think something I'm not usually posting is like there are now like nephews and nieces running around, and it's so fun to be with family friends, be with aunts and uncles and grandparents, and be sharing in like family moments, because I do think that keeps me so grounded when I get to look at Matt's 100-year-old grandmother who is still kicking, and I'm just talking to her about her life and everything that she's done. Like that puts it all in perspective for me, that like a mean comment on the internet or an episode was like harder to get out that week. Like it doesn't fucking matter in the grand scheme of the longevity of life. That's really like family time for me, as corny as that sounds, like really is what brings me back to reality.
I think that's what's grounded Molly all these years.
Well, I was just about to say that. It's funny. Miley is, very off social media and like, and when we go on vacations and trips, it's like there's no phones. Like we're not taking pictures, we're not posting anything. And for me, I'm so used to like, I started the whole stupid fucking fashion blogger influencer thing when I was so young that I just got so used to posting everything I was doing and everywhere I was going and tagging this place and doing that. Then now that we go on vacations, as a family and with Miley, I've had to like completely unplug, and it's been so good for me.
So good.
And to just like put the phone away and just enjoy a trip and enjoy the people you're around. And
but it sounds so underrated, but it's so crazy how social media is almost like a second life that we have, and you can get so wrapped up in it, and if you're spending more time on that than in real life, you start to be like unfulfilled with everything around you, so you just go back to this fake thing that like all of these followers, like yes, of course some of them like genuinely care, but a lot of people, like if you deleted everything tomorrow, no one's coming looking for you.
I know.
Like it's not there anymore.
Right?
You know what I mean? So like it is important to be connected to the people like sitting across from you and be present.
It is.
But it's hard. And I can say like I've been there before where I'm like, oh my God, my screen time is not okay this week. Like I gotta reel it in.
I know.
But weekends for me is when I really disconnect.
Yeah, that's cool. I find myself like if I'm in a situation, like if I'm in an elevator and there's people in there, I just immediately grab my phone to like not have to make eye contact or talk to anybody. And I've got to stop doing that.
She is the worst about that.
But a lot of it is like I truly just don't want to talk to people.
It's just a crutch.
I don't want to talk to strangers.
No, it's a social crutch of like you almost feel like a loser if like you're just like not doing anything.
Yeah, if I'm just sitting and like staring into the abyss, I'm like uncomfortable, but I hate that about it myself. Like I'm like I've got to learn to just like be okay just like looking around and like if someone says hi to me, like saying hello and maybe having a conversation.
Because what did they do before all of cell phones?
Exactly.
They didn't have the landline and the big long cord and the elevator.
We did not.
Right.
I'm old as the hills. I know. We didn't. We absolutely did
stand there
not.
and like look at your nails.
Seriously.
Like so crazy. I know. What a
Guys.
concept.
Are we ready to have fun or
well quickly, I know are we talking way too much? I do want to talk a little bit about your business and your podcast because you're such a freaking boss. I feel like you've really like evolved from day one, right? You've like pivoted a couple times. And I think as an artist, as a creative, like a lot of times fans get confused, right? When you start to evolve or change or pivot. I would just love to hear from you, like how you've been able to do that so successfully.
Thank you.
Because your podcast is really, it's changed a lot since the beginning.
It has.
And it's still, it's
It's
grown. Like you haven't, you know what I mean? So I would just love to hear like how that's happened for you. And like if there's any tips you have for like maybe anybody else out there that's got a business and like trying to evolve and pivot and change without losing their audience.
I got you, girl.
I'll
try my best.
Before you answer, is it not great that I'm not high and doing this?
No, on Call Her Daddy, literally you were like, so sometimes girls, Dom is my man and he looks hot as hell.
I felt like this the whole time.
No, literally.
Okay, go ahead.
And then you were like, I think I need a little more. And then you kept smoking up. And I'm like, do you need water? You're chugging your water, the whole thing. Honestly, I loved it. I love you here and I loved you then. Okay. No, I love it. Anyways, so yes, business. No, I'm literally like half of the time I'm just going with what feels right in my gut. Like I didn't learn this in school, which I think is a positive for people listening. Like you do not have to have someone tell you what to do. If anything, they don't know. And if they do know, do the opposite of what they're telling you because you don't want to do the same thing as everyone.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
Like, there should be no roadmap. There should be no one telling you here's step one and here's the end goal. Like figure it out yourself. But I will say, I think something that worked for me was I always more so refer to myself as a consumer when I'm like online. Like I'm not looking to see like someone's outfit online. I'm genuinely trying to understand like why did I stay on someone's page for X amount of time? And like if I ever am watching someone's video, like I'll take notes. I have like a notes app of like this was super engaging to me. Like I'm trying to understand what's moving the needle on social media every time I open it.
Wow.
It's like a tool that I'm using almost to learn. And with Call Her Daddy, I realized I have personally never felt comfortable when I see brands like switch overnight where you're like, whoa, like that was a big shift. So for me, I wanted Call Her Daddy almost to feel like this very like gradual line that was like progressively looking a little bit different in color, but it all kind of merged on every era that it's changed. So no one's ever getting whiplash. No one's ever feeling like she just started randomly talking about mental health. It was like, no, from the sex and the podcast, all of a sudden, like mental health is a huge part of sex. And like, I think slowly there were like additives that I was like pushing in, but I wasn't taking away at the same time as I was adding. So I just have tried to build and slowly things I'll pull away from, like whether it's topics or visuals. Like if I'm going to go more in the red and I don't take fully away the pink, but I'm like, ooh, I don't like the pink and black anymore. Like everything has felt very gradual and not like overnight we're changing it all. And sometimes that can work for people. For me, it hasn't because I don't want it to feel jarring because at the end of the day, what I'm building is a community. It's not really a brand. It's a community of people that come to feel seen and safe. And so you don't want it to be like your therapist all of a sudden just like cut all of her hair off and she's like dressed completely different. And you're like, I don't trust you anymore. Like,
who are you?
Like a huge part of my business is built on trust with my audience. So
for sure.
I think consistency and not changing things overnight to make them feel like I'm just like ripping the carpet out from under them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, your pivot over to Sirius, which is about to start.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing anything dramatically different with this change with the podcast, or are you just kind of sticking to what you were doing before?
I'm going to slowly, like I just said, I'm going to slowly roll out some new things. Like I have certain things in the deal that I probably can't announce until around the new year, but I have new things that are going to be coming out on top of having Call Her Daddy.
Oh, cool.
And like the visuals and everything will always continue to change. But no, the core of like Call Her Daddy, the show and the interviews and all that will maintain the same. It may look a little different or there may be tweaks to the format that I'm thinking of, but overall it will be similar. But then there's just going to be more that comes with the Sirius deal. So it's just more content.
Awesome. That sounds so
Thank
cool.
you.
That's amazing.
I'm super happy for you.
Thank you guys. Thank you. It's really
Very
exciting.
cool.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
you.
And for me, I love the tours that you're doing. I just think that's so, I mean, to me, like my friend Caitlin Bristow, I don't know if you've ever had her on your podcast, but she's done so many live tours, and I've been on a bunch of them, either co-hosting or DJing with her and stuff. And to me, like, I mean, that's just like the creme de la creme of podcasting, because they are, like, in a sense, it's like a comedy show when you do it live, you know, and it's so fun and just so interactive. And I just think it's so cool that you're doing that. I have to come to a show.
No, you have to come. And it's truly like, I don't know how Miley or you have done it, because the anxiety I feel before I go on tour, once I get on the stage, I'm fine. But I don't know why, like, I don't want to let all these people down. And I know it's a great show, but it's so much pressure. Yeah. Like, before I go on, like the night before every show, I like cannot sleep, and I'm just in my head.
And I feel like you really can't let them down.
I know.
Like, you can't. They're there because they love you, and they feel like, that's the thing about podcasting, even like with us and our little group of stoners, like, they feel like family, and like true friends. And like, I do feel like the ones that tune in all the time and are there every week, like, they do feel like a part of your friend group.
You're right.
You
You're
know?
right.
And so like, there's really no way you can let them down. You just being there, I'm sure, means so much.
And just making that in-person connection. Like, to me, like, every time I play a show, I meet so many like podcast listeners, and it's so cool to just make the in-person connection and like make it feel even more real than it already does.
It is the coolest thing I've ever done in my career, is be in person with the Daddy Gang. I think I have always just been anxious because I've never asked them to pay for basically anything other than if they want to get merch, but I'm not asking them. And so this is the first thing that they like physically have to pay to be in person with me. And so my brain goes to, this needs to be the best thing that they've ever seen.
That makes sense.
And I'm so competitive with myself, and I just always want to give them the best. So I just get anxious. But no, like, when I'm there, then I'm like, oh my God, I'm with my people.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing like it.
It's pretty cool.
And that's the thing, is like, they are there for you, you know? So
no, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You got to come to something.
Yeah, we'll pop over to one for sure. Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Okay, guys. Obsessed with this next sponsor. It's Blissy pillowcases. I have been sleeping on Blissy pillowcases for years, and somebody gave me one as a gift a long time ago, and I started using them because I had hair extensions, and it totally kept my hair from getting all ratty, and sleeping on it is like literally just amazing. Like, once you sleep on a Blissy pillowcase, it's silk. Like, you can never go back, for real. It also has anti-aging, not properties, but anti-aging, because when you put your skincare on, the normal cotton pillowcases, like, they soak it up. They'll soak up the products. The silk pillowcases just don't do that. Also, there are a lot of dupes out there, because there's a lot of satin pillowcases. And people say that satin's the same as silk. Well, it's not. And this happens to be mulberry silk, which is completely machine washable, which is fantastic. Again, cannot say enough about it for your skin and for your hair and just for a better night's sleep. I'm absolutely obsessed with mine. They come in so many colors. They're so cute. Anyway, I can't imagine everybody not loving them. If you want to try it, it's risk-free for 60 nights at blissy.com/stonedpod and get an extra 30% off. That's Blissy, BLISSY.com/stonedpod, and use code STONEPOD to get an additional 30% off. I promise your hair and your skin will thank you. This episode of Sorry We're Cyrus is brought to you by Schedule 35. Have you ever felt just like you're kind of trapped in a mental fog and you're struggling to stay motivated and productive? I feel like that a lot. Imagine something that could give you better focus, better clarity, and it sounds like a magic pill, but actually it's the magic of microdosing, which has become so popular lately. I have a lot of friends who microdose daily. Schedule 35, they're vegan capsules, and they're accurately dosed and designed to give you the edge you need to tackle like your toughest, most hectic days. The benefits of microdosing is celebrated and backed by research from a lot of major universities. So if you're ready to have your best day ever, head over to schedule35.co and use the code STONED for a 15% off of your order. Again, get 15% off with the code STONED at schedule35.co. That's 15% off at scheduled35.co and use the code STOUT.
All right, you ready to have some fun?
Yes.
Let Tish take over a little bit.
Questions. Brandy's so serious. She gets all the serious
She's got to
questions.
go through
Someone's gotta.
she's got to lay the groundwork.
Okay, who is the craziest guest?
Okay, you can't just go into it. You gotta say what we're doing.
Oh, I forgot. See, this is why I don't get
This is why
I
have to be serious.
I'm so used to just getting to be stoned and not like have to do anything.
If you're gonna kick off the segment, you have to say what the segment is and explain it.
This is a new segment. It used to be called Truth or Toke, which was so much fun. Now it's called What's the Tea?
Oh,
yeah. There are really no stakes, so if you don't want to answer, just don't.
We're still working out kinks over here with this new rebrand.
Okay. Craziest guest that's been on Call Her Daddy.
Craziest? Oh my God! Like what? Probably when Anna Delvey came in on from jail.
Yeah.
She was literally like zooming me in through her cell.
Are you serious?
You know she's on Dancing with the Stars with an ankle bracelet or monitor, whatever
no,
they're called.
you guys, it's crazy. I remember doing it. It was like nighttime. They could because they only had certain times that they could get on Zoom, and so they'd like get her out of her cell, and she was in her jumpsuit, and they were like, it was really bad Wi-Fi, and it was like blurry, and I was like, Anna, are you there? And it was so crazy.
Dead.
So yeah, I guess like doing an interview with someone in jail.
That's pretty crazy.
Fun. It was fun.
That's a good one.
Random, but would you ever do Dancing with the Stars? I feel like you'd be so good
my
at
God,
it.
no.
No?
No.
I feel like you'd be great
You
at
guys,
it.
I didn't even have a first dance at my wedding.
I didn't either.
I have 2 left feet. I said everyone we're going to do a first shot together, not a first dance. My God, done.
No, we did not do
no
a dance
Dancing
either.
with the Stars.
I feel
Love
like
the
you should
show,
do it
but
too.
I should do it, but
you should.
Girl, I'm anxiety ridden.
You can't even leave your house. You're like, if they come to me,
if they'll come here, we can do it.
Oh, Jesus. All right. What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened during a podcast recording?
Oh my God, I have to tell one thing off camera to you guys because it's literally like this sad.
Jeez.
No.
No, I can't say it on the podcast. But
Okay.
Wait. Let me think of a weirder one that's like acceptable because you guys, I've had some weird shit go down, and I have to smile through it and just be like,
God.
woo, and then we leave, and I'm like, let me think.
Let me happens to us one day.
No, you guys.
You're like, no, you
okay,
don't.
I'll tell you off camera. It is insane, and yes, okay, sorry, I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Well, you're lucky we're not going to make.
Okay, we're not going to do that one. And who's your dream guest for Call Her Daddy?
It's so hard because it constantly changes because I have like, of course, I would love to have Rihanna on, like sitting across from Rihanna and just getting to talk girl talk with her and her just like, even her just fucking saying her name and saying hi, like I would be like, yes, bitch, like please, like just serve and sit there.
Girl, I'm with you. Rihanna is my all-time favorite. One time she walked up to me at an award show. I had on this backless dress.
Work.
And she said, she came over to me and she goes, I asked whoever she was with who you were because I have these big tattoo on my back.
Yeah.
And she was like, because I just thought you were just the hottest person here or something like that. And I was just like,
no, when Rihanna says
like
that to you, oh my God, you have to
I was dying.
No man could ever give you a better compliment.
Ever.
Like
ever.
Nothing.
Like
never.
Riri is the shit.
You're like, Dom, nothing you've ever said to me makes me feel the way that Rihanna made me feel that day. But it's true. I met her once in Cannes and it was like so quick and short. And I was like, okay, remember your name, like say your name, like just smile, like don't be a freak. Like, but everything I've ever seen of her online, what's really cool, and that's why I would love to have her on, is like, she's such a girl's girl, and you can tell every moment she'll like look at the interviewer and like compliment their outfit. Like she's constantly like observing, and you feel like those level of celebrities wouldn't be paying attention, right?
Not at all.
She's so in tune with everyone around her, and she seems so gracious and lovely. So Rihanna,
that's a good answer.
Put it into the ether.
That is the best answer ever. And she's just so nice.
She's the best. I'm obsessed.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
What guest surprised you the most about how much you loved them?
The two of you sitting in front of me right now.
I was like, she better not say somebody.
You guys, but I'm not even blowing smoke up your ass. Like, I remember leaving and just going home to Matt and being like, no, you don't understand. Like, I think I made friends today. Like, this was like different level of like, because you guys, I love interviewing people, but there is something so chill when you can just talk. And I don't feel like, even if I like messed up, you guys wouldn't care. Like, It was fun.
No,
I had so
when
much
I
fun.
left, I felt the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
did.
oh my God, that was like, when something is magic.
Yeah. And then I remember you walked out my front door and then you turn around and you're like, did I say anything dumb? And I was like, I don't know. Text me if you have any problems.
Yeah. No,
I
but
love it.
I remember leaving going, oh, that was like something really special.
And it's true because like you don't know what to expect when you see people
Yep.
online and you see people impressed. You're like, what is this girl gonna be like? What is this woman gonna be like? What's this chick? What's the vibe? And it's so nice because of course I can't say it, but like I've had people walk into my studio that I'm like, you're kind of an asshole. Like that's not fun. Like
That's not
you're
fun
like,
at
oh,
all.
like I look up to you and you're not that nice. And I feel like you guys were such a breath of fresh air where I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I like know you guys from my childhood. So
I love
I
that.
hate when I
Cheers.
meet people that I've always loved and
I
then they're
know.
like that. And then I'm like so bummed.
no, it's bad,
I
Tish. I'm like,
know.
please, like get me out of here. And then I'm interviewing them and I'm trying to be nice, but I'm like, oh. And even sometimes like, oh, I'll say this. I've had some people say just like some out of pocket, like rude shit on the podcast. And like, I edited it out sometimes.
I would. I'd be like, this is my podcast,
No,
bitch.
and also just because I'm no, literally, because also sometimes I've been like, this is gonna make you look really bad, and like I'm gonna choose to believe you didn't mean to say that, but like
Oh, well, that's nice of you.
I don't know why I do that
That's really
sometimes.
nice
like
of
no
you.
one asks me to, but I'll just be like, that is like, or like that's so out of touch. Like, why did you
Wow.
say that? And I'll just be like, clip, and it will be like a little statement. But I've had
Yes.
people that I'm like,
That
girl,
is wild.
girl. Yeah, I'm just like, we don't need that bad energy. Like, I don't like it.
What's the wildest purchase you've made since making good money?
Oh my God. Okay. 2 things that were so embarrassing. Number 1, I remember when I got like a pretty decent check and everyone's like, what are you going to buy? What are you going to buy? And this was like before I signed with Spotify, but I was like, oh, I'm making money. Like at Barstool by the end of it, I was making money. And if anyone knows me, like I love sweatpants and hoodies. So that's like my thing. That's what I'm doing. You guys, I am so embarrassed to admit this. It wasn't a bag. It wasn't a trip. I bought $2,000 Fear of God sweatpants.
No.
Love it.
Were they the softest thing ever, or
I hated them. And I literally couldn't return them because they were final sale. I had been eyeing them, waiting for the check to like get into my bank account. There were these like gorgeous, like this like gray color. They had these zippers. Like it was just everything I was dreaming of. Vision board, sweatpants.
Oh my
Purchase, final sale.
That's the word.
I was
hated
like, my
them.
Target ones are better. What is this crap?
we always
Guys,
say that?
Always.
$2,000 on a pair of sweatpants?
That is
Ill.
insane.
Ill.
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
insane.
That is insane.
And then I bought a cloud couch. That was like my
Ooh,
goal.
that's a good one.
That was
Yeah.
like, if I'm going to do anything, again, I want to get
I love-
horizontal.
I have the
Ugh.
cloud and I
Yep.
just love it.
That is a good one.
I
pretty
mean,
good.
it is too
It's the
good.
best. Matt hates it.
Oh,
He's like,
it's-
I'm falling asleep every time I watch TV.
oh,
I'm
I
like,
know.
that's the point.
It is too good.
That's literally the
That
point.
is the point.
We're going
It
to bed.
is too
truly.
good.
That is good.
Wait, is it my turn?
I skipped a couple, yeah, because we're
Oh.
getting long-winded.
Actually,
Oh.
also with my cloud couch, just which was really sad. The first 48 hours of having my cloud couch, I had a guy come over that I was seeing, and he fully got semen all over the
Oh, I thought you were
cushion.
gonna say you like pissed on the couch.
No,
or
you
something.
guys, and it was a white stain that I could never get off. And you know how
What
the
color was
cloud
the
couch, like, it was a dark, like charcoaly blue.
Ooh.
I
So
love
there was
that
just
color.
a streak.
No.
Of, and then poor
No.
Matt, I was like, I want to keep the couch, and he was like,
Ew.
no, it's in our guest house. He just never wants to sit on it. I'm like, is it because you don't like the cloud couch, or because you don't like the fact that maybe I had sex on this couch with someone else?
I am
He's like, fuck you, fuck
dying.
you, fuck you.
That is hilarious.
And I tried to get it clean, it won't leave. But it's a remembrance of my past. Come on, I was young and I was wild.
You were young and wild
I
and
love
free.
that so much. That's good.
Okay, we'll see. What's the most bizarre thing someone has slid into your DMs with?
I mean, there's a lot of weird shit. I actually, thank God, I feel like I get way less creepy men these days. Like, there's of course the occasional, like,
Mhm.
can you put your thong in between your big toe and send me a picture of your feet? It's a classic. It's a classic. We all get the feet pic request.
Constant.
It's just a
It's so
constant.
creepy.
It's
How are
really
there
weird.
so many people that have
Yeah,
a foot fetish?
I believe there's a chance that every 1 in 2 men has a foot fetish.
I guess so.
And it's so strange.
It is strange.
There's 2 men here. Do y'all love feet?
Raise your hand, sweetie.
Okay.
He just
Brendan
nodded
says,
his
yeah.
head. He nods his head. He's like, absolutely, take off your feet. That's why he asked me earlier. He's like, Alex, take off your shoes for this interview, baby. I'm just kidding. I think the weirdest though sometimes is Oh, that's good. There's so much weird shit going in. I mean, obviously.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I can only imagine.
No, there's Barstool days. It used to be just full
Oh my
wieners,
God.
wieners all over the
I'm
place.
sure.
Even some like flaccid ones, like crooked ones, like all of it. And I
No.
would just be like, next. I think it would always have to be the dick pics, but I also think some weird ones are when girls are sending me but it's like my favorite. They basically invite me to their weddings, and then they're like, I look in the mail, and somehow people got my address, and they'll send me their wedding invite.
Too.
No.
I'm like, babe,
yes.
I would love to come to your wedding, but also like, I don't know if you want me at your wedding. Like, what's the vibe? Maybe one day we'll go.
It's so weird. And
I used to want to be a wedding crasher. Like I used to really want to do that.
No, you guys, we should just like go to someone's random wedding.
It could be fun.
That is such a good
and
show.
we should just like have a fun time.
It
That'd be a
could
great
be
episode.
really fun.
It totally
we get them on the
would.
pod.
That would be so fun.
I love that. All right, this is gonna be the last one. We'll move on to the next thing.
Okay.
This is a good one. What's one chore that you've given up and outsourced since not, being able to pay for
Since you
whatever?
got that money,
since
huh?
I
Since you got that money.
Ooh, let me think. That's a good one. I was gonna say, but then Matt does it. I was gonna say I do not do the dishes. Matt does the dishes for me though, but I don't. I literally leave it there, like just sink filled, and I walk away
Don't
and
even
I
rinse the plate.
Don't even rinse
Love
the
that.
plate. But he has a little OCD in him, so he actually prefers that he gets to do it all himself.
Okay.
But I don't do the dishes now, which
You
is fabulous.
really got lucky
You
with this
did.
one.
No, you guys. I every day I'm like, I think I like sometimes I'm like, I don't deserve this man. Like I don't know what I did. He's so
Oh, well, the other day we were podcasting and Dom, we had to have our lawn reseeded, and all of a sudden we're like podcasting and hear water running, and he's out watering the lawn. I'm like,
what would we do without them?
I don't know.
No, but it's like it's almost like it's not about the money. It's actually more like the better question is, what have you stopped doing since meeting Matt?
Exactly.
It's not even the money. Like I still am like doing random shit that like people are like, why do you still edit your podcast? I'm like, because I want to. Like the stuff that Matt does for me, girls. Like it's just I
Did
don't.
you have a hard time letting him do things for you, or were you just loving it?
Oh my god,
Okay.
I love to be so lazy. I'm like,
my god, I love that.
I have never put a toilet paper roll on the little hanger since moving in with this man.
I am dead.
And I obviously
I'm
use
such
it
a
more.
control freak, and I think I've just been on my own for so long that I have a hard time letting people do things for me.
Okay, so that's probably Matt. I'm like, oh, bow down and kiss my feet and tell me like what you want to do next for me. I love it.
Like I can't even let my tour manager carry my suitcase.
Okay, that I hate. Like anything that's like if it's not Matt, if it's someone like an assistant or someone, I am like, no. We're all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
But with Matt, he loves doing things for me because he's also an acts of service person. So like he's obsessed with doing little things for me, and I'm like, well, kick my feet up.
You're like,
Let's
great,
go.
Absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
It's nice.
So
it's
cute.
nice.
Okay, we're gonna do one last little fun thing before we wrap up. We're calling it Kicking It Old School. We're gonna talk about relationship stuff, but rapid fire version with you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No. Yes.
Mom,
Go.
I think you have the first one.
Okay, what's your best advice for someone trying to spice up the relationship?
Go on date nights and wear sexy garments underneath your outfit. Like I really feel like I don't know. I went through a period where I was like, I don't know the last time that my bra and my thong was matching. And all of a sudden on date nights, I'll treat it like, Matt, especially if you live with someone, it's hard to spice it up because they see you getting ready. It's like, don't come near me when we're getting ready. Have a drink waiting for me. Like I'm very intentional about our date nights and making sure it feels like he still has to court me. Like we're still flirting.
I love that.
No phones, and wear a little matching outfit underneath, and you'll feel sexy. Because when you feel sexy, you're like, oh, I'm down to get after. I feel like sometimes we're like coming after work and you're so sweaty and you're like, why would I want to have sex? And men can most of the time just bang it out. Like we need to feel like we're being pursued in order to start getting turned on mentally before I can like physically do anything downstairs. So Matt knows that. Like put in work. We had this joke. It was like foreplay starts at 7 a.m. Because I need
we know why he's doing the dishes.
Seriously.
Yeah. Because he's like, I know that it's mental for you first in order to get physical. So foreplay starts at 7 a.m.
Okay, that's good. Me. What's the biggest relationship mistake that you think people make?
Thinking that the only thing that matters is being in love. I think that compatibility is something I've been talking a lot about with my friends lately who are trying to decide if this person is the one. And love genuinely, in my opinion, isn't enough.
I say this all the time.
It's not enough.
But did you say that
I think
yesterday?
I said it. Yeah, it's not.
Oh my God, it's
like,
not.
It's great. And like, you should love the person, but it is a very small fraction, I think, of what makes a relationship last and work.
100%. It's like, I think when you're younger, you think that's what it is, like the attraction and you are in love with them. And then when you get older, it's like, there are people that will not change and they may be perfect for someone else, but compatibility wise, like if you don't respect each other, if you guys don't have a language that you can communicate when you're like arguing, if you are, there's so many things that it's like, they may just like logistically not believe fundamentally in things that you do. And if you can't come together and be compatible, it's okay, but they're not the one. And I think a lot of people then start to freak out because the love is there. So they like settle when really it's like, there's a lot of love out there. I believe that you can fall in love so many times in your life. And really you need to look more for the compatibility. Of course, the spark needs to be there. But
Totally. Yeah, that's good.
Sex on the first date, yay or nay?
Oh, do whatever you want. Yeah. I mean, I was like an ass and made Matt wait so long.
You did?
Oh my God. Like
I did that with Dom too.
I mean, and by wait so long, actually, like I take that back. Usually, historically, when I was dating in my past, I would make these guys wait like almost a month to 2 months. Like I really was like, you are not getting near the kahuni until I know that you've got my heart and you're a good person. Then with Matt, I think it was like, I don't know, on the maybe the 5th date, so it was super soon, but like he ate me out before. I was like, okay, he's good, he knows what he's doing, let's go. But I made him wait just in like, I didn't do the first night, although I wanted to, but I was kind of just like, I need to make sure, like I was too excited about it that I was like, I need to pause on the sex for a minute because I'm so emotionally stimulated right now. Like, let's pause on this physical for 1 second. But yeah, oh my God, if it feels right, go for it.
I mean, I think people are always like, they won't, men don't take you seriously if you fuck them on the first date. I just don't think that's true.
It's just
As you
not
get
true.
older, I don't think it's true.
I don't think it's true at all. I think it's if it's the right person. Like, let me say this. Had I had sex with Matt on the first night, we would still be married. Like, it wouldn't 100%. It wouldn't have changed anything.
Absolutely not.
If it's the right person, it's the right person. It's really not going to deter them.
Yep.
Yeah. What's one thing that people need to stop doing in relationships?
I think holding too much in and resentment and not communicating. Like, I know that sounds so simple, but the amount of people that will write into me and be like, he's been doing this thing and I'm so upset. And I'm like, have you told him? Like, I think that you can become really good at compartmentalizing, thinking, oh, I can't solve everything in a relationship. For sure, there's going to be problems. But if something is so upsetting to you and you keep holding back and not telling them, it's just going to get worse. And then they're also blindsided when you bring it up to them and they're like, literally, what are you talking about?
I used to be the worst communicator ever.
And it affects your relationship, right?
In such a huge way.
It's crazy. So just speak when things upset you. And I know a lot of people aren't good with confrontation. I fucking love confrontation with relationships, not with friendships or like work or anything. But when it comes to relationships, oh my God, I love being like, this is what's going on and this is what's happening. Then I had to teach myself in work to be more confrontational because I'd be like, I'll send it over an email. But yeah, I think being upfront.
That's good. Okay. What's your best advice for handling a bad breakup?
You can't go through that shit alone. And you're going to have so many nights where you want to get back with them because you're lonely. I think like a lot of times we mistake the loneliness for like actually wanting to go back to it and the familiarity. And the sad thing is like, I think when people go through a bad breakup, people want to act like they were never in love with that person. Like, it's okay to not be with someone that you were madly in love with. And that feels weird to be like existing out in the world without someone you were in love with, but it didn't work out for a reason. And so I feel like knowing that there's going to be a big hole in your life, because most of the time you're dating someone, they're also your best friend. They you spend all the time with them. So it should feel really uncomfortable when you go through a bad breakup. You should be crying. You should be uncomfortable. You should have a pit in your stomach. You should be all the things. That's normal. And I think sometimes friendships, they're like, come on, girl, get over it. No, get your Ben and Jerry's and sit there and be so miserable for like, even if it's weeks, cry, like ugly cry, snot cry.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes friends are like, come on, it's been too long. Like, no, everyone goes at their own pace.
I have a theory.
Oh my God, tell me.
I have a theory that it takes you as long as you are with somebody to truly be completely over them.
I would agree with that in terms of you can even get into a new relationship and it doesn't mean that you're not in love with the new person.
But you still have stuff you're working
through. You do.
Yeah.
And you have these lingering feelings and like, I remember when Matt and I started dating, I would like think about this one ex occasionally. Not that I wanted to be with him, but there were like lingering thoughts.
Just the things that would just come up.
Yeah. And I think sometimes you have to get closure by yourself. And a lot of times you're not going to get that closure with that other person. And that's okay. That's life.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, last one. What piece of relationship advice would you give now that you maybe wouldn't have given when you were younger and first starting the podcast?
Ooh, oh my God. The shit I used to say. I want to say this and then I want to take it back because my eye is watering. I promise I'm not crying. I'm like, fuck. When you're younger, you're looking for something different. So it's hard to give this advice because the things that I would tell girls when I was 21, 22, 23, like I actually believe I was probably saying the right thing just in terms of when you're in college, a lot of girls are not looking for a genuine, like, I want to marry my husband tomorrow. Like, I'm looking for like a social good time. I'm looking for the guy that has the best connections to the coolest bars. And like, that's okay that it's more surface level. And it is a little social climby when you're in that, like, who's going to the cool party? Oh, hook up with him and we're going to get him with his friend group. So I think I look back and like, I don't agree now with those things. Like I would say, hey, if someone shows you who they are and they make you feel not great about yourself,
believe them
and walk away. But when you're in college, like, girls, I loved that toxic shit. Like I was like,
I know
it was fun, but that's what I think is life, right? It's like, of course, it was fun when you're in college because then you're with your girls and you're bitching about him, and then he's texting you, and you're running to the bar, and you're putting on your makeup, and you're getting excited, and you're wondering, like, that is college, that is even high school.
Well, and I think those things and those experiences make you appreciate later on when you meet a man.
Yes,
right. Like when you meet.
You guys, the amount of men that I dated that I literally don't think I was in one good relationship before Matt in terms of, like, I had one guy that I really thought was love. And then I met Matt and I was like, nope, this is love. But it was right for me at the time. I was so, like, I wanted to be out there. I wanted to have fun. I was enjoying the games and I absolutely loved it. And I wouldn't take back any of the men that I dated in the past, even the ones that were so bad for my mental health. Because then when I met Matt, I was able to be like, whoa. Now, once it creeps into like later in your life, the more that you're trying to get serious and you can't break those patterns, you got to just go to therapy. Because at some point you do have to cut it off. And I'm thankful that I was able to be like, okay, wait, we got to pump the brakes. Like, I've been doing this for too long now. Like, I actually want a partner. I don't want to keep fucking around. And, but everyone goes at their own pace.
I agree.
Like, I think to tell the younger women listening to like not do something or not go for the asshole. Like, no, go for the asshole. Go for the asshole.
Get it out of your system.
Get it out of your system. and we always say that to men. Oh, they're just getting it out of their system.
Right? So like,
why can't we?
We should have that too.
I feel like I know so much more because I went through that stuff and like it was fun back then. And now it's not because I don't have time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good thing you got married to the love of your freaking life.
So you too.
Who you knew.
And now I need to know about your guy.
Okay, well, let's wrap this up, shall we?
You're like, and cut.
And cut there. No, Alex, thank you so much. This has been so fun.
You guys, I love you so much. Fun. Thank you for inviting me.
So fun.
Tell the stoners when.
Okay, so really, like, my Sirius XM deal will have started by now in October, which is very fun. You can still find me absolutely everywhere, which is even more exciting. I think people were like, we can only listen on Sirius XM. No, they're now just my partner.
Oh, great.
So you can find me everywhere. Like, I'm still on Spotify. I'm still on Apple. I'm on YouTube. I'm everywhere. Now I'm just also on Sirius XM. And I will have new announcements coming soon that I annoyingly can't share. And I hate being that girl that's like, secret project.
Secrets.
But all the good things. Follow Color Daddy. Love you all. Thanks for welcoming me to the stoner community.
Yes. We love you.
Awesome.
Love you guys.
You're welcome back anytime.
I know.
Love you. All right. Bye, stoners.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation and Hopetown Entertainment.